good morning. My name's Mona. I have been experimenting and playing with making cement candle vessels. I liked the way they looked, and I, of course, tried to buy them, and they're kind of expensive. So I was like, okay, I think I can do this on my own. It doesn't seem like it's that challenging. So I watched a bunch of videos and looked at a bunch of YouTubes and kind of came up with, my process. If this isn't the way you do it or that you've been taught, by all means, there's definitely a lot of room for a lot of different things. You just have to keep testing, find out what you like, what works good, and then your final product. Do you like what comes out? And is it a product that you want to either keep for yourself, give as gifts, or sell? It's up to you. So what I've got here is a bunch of vessels that I've made, and I just love them. I'm going to show you in a little tutorial how I make this bowl. But look at this. I think it's adorable. It's, I put some color in this one. I'm not going to do color. I'm just going to do the natural color of the Simmental. But I think it's great. I'm going to test it with three wicks. I think it'll just be gorgeous. It's got a very nice smooth finish. It comes out like this, comes out perfect. Really the only thing that you got to do is maybe sand down the bottom, smooth it out. Super easy. Some of the other vessels and the molds that I've tried, this mold, I love it. It's a big heavy candle. I think it would hold 4 wicks. It's got this little spot here that you could put matches in. It's adorable. I haven't tested these out with my wax yet because I just got them sealed, but this is perfect. I love it. And then my kind of go-to were these. Beautiful smooth finish. I think they're just gorgeous. They're smooth on the inside. They've just got a really, really pretty pattern on them. And I've got about 4 different molds. I bought the molds on Amazon. I didn't want to, get a ton of money invested in these molds till I figured out really my process and what I was doing. But you can get molds that start at, I don't know, $8 or $9. And then some of the higher quality molds, oh my gosh, they go up into the 30s and 40s. So this is where I started, and I think these are perfect. I love them. So this is my mold. This is my mold that I got on Amazon. It is for the bowl. Okay, here's the bowl. Super easy, they're flexible. I don't even clean them out after I pull a concrete vessel out of them. They're just great. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out how much concrete you're gonna use. I use Simmental over here. I've got a box of Simmental. This is the 25-pound box. Got it at Home Depot. Easy peasy to pick up. Didn't have to have it shipped. I just pick it up on a trip to Home Depot. And it gives me a ton of stuff to work with. Easy to find. I think it was like $25, $28. So it's cheap. And it works great for me. So the first thing you've got to do is figure out how much concrete I'm going to need in my mold. So I watch a bunch of YouTube videos on how to do this, and Jay Catalano, I hope I didn't massacre his name. He's somebody that I follow, and I've subscribed to his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of pointers and a lot of tips on how to make these vessels. But the most important one that I've seen so far is the formula in how to figure out how much concrete to put in this vessel. And this formula is specifically for the Simmental. I think different products have different formulas because they have different ratios. Simmental is a 4-to-1 water ratio. So what I do is just with a regular scale, go ahead, turn it on. I get it to 0, so you hit the tare button, get it to 0. I fill my mold with water up to the top, and that amount is the amount that I'm going to use to start my formula. So when I put water in this, I get 180 grams. I use grams. I guess you could use ounces, but I like grams. Take 180 and you multiply it by 2. So I get 360 grams. That's the amount of Simmental I'm going to put in my bowl. That's my amount. Now remember, it's a 4-to-1 ratio. So I take that 360 because that's how much, that's how much Simmental I'm going to use. And I divide that by 4, and I get 90 grams. So when I measure out all my ingredients, I'm going to use 360 grams of Simmental and I'm gonna mix it with 90 grams of water. I use tap water. People have said if your water's hard, use distilled water. I haven't had any problems at all with my sink water, so that's what I'm gonna continue to use. If things change, then I'll change. So, first of all, when you're dealing with this concrete mix, it does have silicone built into it, so you don't wanna breathe it in. So let's just put a mask on while we're weighing out our cement. So I'm gonna turn on my scale. Here's my scale. I'm gonna put my bowl on it, and I'm gonna tear it out. So I'm at 0 grams. Get it to grams, okay? Now, I've got my cement all over here. And I am just going to weigh out 360 351, 356. I'm getting close. I'm not going to get any on that stick. And give your scale a minute because it does. There it goes, 360. Okay. So I'm going to move that to the side. And then I just use a cup to measure, unless I've got large amounts. And I am going to, I really should have gloves on. The concrete can be drying, but. So I'm gonna zero that out. And now I'm gonna measure, what did I say? 90 grams of water. $89, oh my gosh, that was super close. 90, okay, perfect. So I've got my cement all in here and my water. So now I'm just gonna mix the two together. And I already did my formula, so I know that my water and my Simmental should be perfect. Now sometimes you can get a little bit of, you can see it kind of coming up. That's what I don't want to breathe in. I like to use a bowl and a spatula to mix with. I've used all kinds of things in the past, and I like the spatula because I can kind of push it against the sides and get out all of the lumps. Now this process takes a minute. Now I am not getting any more little dust coming up, so I'm gonna take my mask off. I'm a nurse and I wear masks all the time, and I still can't breathe with them on. So now I'm just gonna mix. Mix, mix, mix. Okay, I've mixed for a couple minutes, and now I've got this really smooth, liquidy batter. It's a little bit thinner, kind of in that pancake batter texture, but I think it pours really good when it's this consistency, and it sets nicely. So I'm gonna put that aside. Now I'm gonna go get my mold, and I'm gonna pour this in the mold. So we've got it here. This little bowl has a spout on it, which is nice. And I pour it towards me, and I just kind of fill about halfway. Now I don't want any air in this, because when it settles, I don't want air trapped in my, got a little blob there. I don't want the air in my finished product. So you just kind of slap the sides. Now, what I bought to help me with this, and it's been a kind of a game changer, is, follow me over here, this little product, and it is a vibrating plate. It's used for making dental molds and things like that. I bought it on Amazon. It was about $40. So I really invested more in this thing than I did for pretty much any other supplies that I've got. Now, this is an oblong mold, so I don't want it hanging off the edges. So I found this little cutting board. It works perfect. Put this on medium, and I sit it on there, and I'm just gonna let it jiggle down for a few minutes. And I can see the bubbles coming up. You see it sitting on there, and it's kind of jiggling. The bubbles are coming up to the surface. Okay, now I'm gonna pour the rest of it. So get your Simmental, and you're gonna fill up your mold. till you're just about at the very top and determine what your fill is going to be, so you don't have a whole lot to sand when you unmold this thing. So just to show you, really for my formula, I really don't have that much that I'm going to waste. So I think that's great. The whole point of this formula that Jay has developed is great, because then I don't waste the product. I mean, I don't want to waste my supplies. So let's come back over here. Put our little board on. You can hear it buzzing. I'm gonna put it on here and let it just kind of jiggle. Now, if you don't, you can certainly do this by hand. You don't have to have this machine. It's just that when I was pouring more than 3 candles at a time or vessels at a time, it was kind of nice because these could jiggle and I could fill, and I had like a little assembly line going, jiggle, fill. And then I still come back in. I still can't help it. I started out doing it with the pat, 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 slap, slap, slap on the ground, and you know, old habits are hard to break. Okay, so we're back over, and I've got this off of the vibrator machine, vibrator plate, and then I just kind of slap the sides, watch for bubbles to come up. I can see them coming up to the top, which is great. And if I was not using that little dental thing, I would do this for a couple minutes until I felt confident that all my bubbles were out. You know, you can slap it on the ground. It looks perfect. Now I will say, I normally do this in my garage. I have a little section set up on a work table, but my lighting's not as good as there, and I thought this would make for a better video. So I'm in my kitchen, but I still put down brown paper in my workspace just because you can spill things, and I don't want to have to clean up everything. So it's nice. This was actually just leftover wrapping paper. I flipped it over, used the back side of it, taped it down, and then when I'm done, I can just crumble it all up and I'm finished. If I was going to go and clean this out, I just scrape out my extra, get it all out, throw it away, and then I can go out to the garden. You don't ever, ever, ever want to put anything cement down your sink, or you will be paying a plumber to redo all your piping. So don't even look at your sink. Don't even look at your sink or turn on your water while you're doing this. That's kind of why I put the water in a cup, so I don't even have to go to the sink. But scrape this out. You can take this outside with a hose, rinse out your bowl. Everything comes out nice and clean, and you're ready for the next day. So now I'm just going to let this sit. Simmental says that it'll get hard in about an hour. I like to wait about 2 hours before I unmold, because you can feel it. When they're getting hard, the heat comes out of this product. So once it's cooled off, you can pop it out, and then I'll show you what it turns into. It's so exciting. In a couple hours, this is hardened, and when I put my hand on it, it's not hot anymore. It kind of has some heat coming off of it. Now I'm going to say this is probably going to be a little awkward, because sometimes there's a little bit of a struggle to get this this off. Maybe today it'll come off easy. So I just loosen the sides, and what you're going to have to do is you kind of have to manipulate it. You got to flip the sides over onto themselves. Now I try not to hit my nails on it, because if you run your nail on this, it's still soft enough that it kind of leaves an indentation. This is where maybe if you had a friend help you, it might be a little easier, but that's okay. I'm going to leave the camera on while I struggle with this, so you can kind of see in real time how this can be challenging. Actually, it's just coming off super easy, so I'm not going to complain. Get it to that point. Voila. Look at this beautiful vessel. It's so smooth. It's got a shine to it, and there's nothing even on it yet. Inside, gorgeous. Now on the outside, I may have overfilled this just a little bit, so it does have kind of a rough edge, but I can just knock it off with some sandpaper and make it pretty smooth. Now there's still moisture in here, so it's gonna have to cure, which means just sitting on the countertop, sitting out, in your kitchen, in your space, for about 2 to 3 days. Some people will weigh it now, and they weigh it every day. When it stops losing weight, that means that there's no more moisture in it. So stinking simple. And you know what? I think I figured it out for the cost to make a bowl. It's like 25 cents. So yes, it takes time, and your time is worth something. And I typically don't put my time, into the value of something, which I probably should. But you know what? This is just a fun hobby. So, but beautiful. Couldn't be more happy. Now, once your bowl's cured, you're going to have to go in and seal it. And I will show you. I'll fast forward in a couple days and I will show you how I seal these. Hopefully you feel confident and you can go out and try to make some of these cement vessels. They're a lot of fun. There's no right or wrong. Whatever you do is success. So if you enjoyed my video, please watch other ones. I've got an upcoming video on sealing vessels, and then we're going to talk about pouring wax. Go out and have fun. Make a candle.